welcome to another episode of V N APE. Guys, sorry, the mic was too loud. Guys, we're here with the one and only. Want to say it?
Yeah, no, we gotta let the man introduce.
We're here with the one and only, Nelson is his name, but he goes by Montana the Prophet.
What's up, fellas?
It's a pleasure to have you on, bro.
It's a pleasure
Welcome
to be
V N
here.
APE.
Appreciate it. Appreciate the invite.
Let's
That's a hell of an intro right there.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
We always fuck it up.
That's
somehow.
how the movie starts, bro. That's the way to go, you know?
All right, but well, yeah, dude. I mean,
I want us to, if not introduce this man, then at least allow him to introduce himself, because I feel like a man can speaks better for himself
for sure.
Sure.
than when somebody else tells you who he is.
So for those of you that don't know me, my government name is Nelson Rodriguez Jr.
What's the social security?
That was my next.
Well, we just got hacked, and supposedly some hacker has everybody's social security in
I
the
heard
entire
about
United
that.
States. So,
Sheesh.
hey, holla at me, hacker. Good luck getting anything financed under my social security. Anyway, so on Instagram you can find me at Montana the Prophet. That's become my nickname. I have a podcast called Montana Method.
That's
It's been a journey of self-discovery, a journey of finding wisdom, sharing it with the world, finding incredible stories, putting them out there, telling my own story. And it's been a journey these last 2 years. It's been special. What drove me to podcasting was in July of 2021, I had amassed everything a man could ever want, or at least what society tells us a man should want.
Okay.
You know, money, women,
Sure.
status, a title, a thriving business.
Okay.
You're saying this
influence.
was before the pod?
This was before the pod. This was July of 2021.
And so you never had any negative emotion ever after you accomplished that, right?
No, not at all, not at all. So basically what happened was I was in the medical cannabis sector. I owned a chain of medical doctor's offices that help people get their medical marijuana licenses.
Oh, okay.
That was doing well. Me and my partner had actually drawn out a strategy to go public, and we were gonna exit probably with 8 figures each.
Okay.
Before that got executed, I went on a vacation to Colombia.
Hey,
Where
I went
I
to
had-
Colombia not so long ago.
Yeah. I went to Medellin in July of 2021. I had made a lot of money that month legally, and my life was going well. So I'm here on vacation. Life is going well. I get back from vacation, and the FBI knocks down my door, and I get arrested by the FBI. I get
No
indicted. Yeah, I get indicted. And just like that, from one day to the next, my life seems like it's over. I spend every dime I have on a lawyer.
Right.
I have no money left. Since the crimes I was alleged at the time to have done were in the healthcare sector, I was not allowed to work in healthcare anymore. So overnight, I had to let go of my business. Not even sell it. I had to let it go.
Damn.
And then it got sold for pennies on the dollar. I didn't get paid. That's a whole another story we'll get into later if you want. And within a week of me having the life of my dreams, a week later, I was nobody.
Damn.
But then I realized that if I'm not my titles, if I'm not my material possessions, if I'm not what I say I am, all these things, a business owner, entrepreneur, what am I? It gave me a pretty sobering experience to get indicted by the federal government, which is an experience I don't wish on anybody, by the way. Not
How
even
long was that process?
I was out on bond from July of 2021 until January of 2023, so a year and a half. It was very painful, very slow.
Damn.
Not knowing what your future is going to look like. You know, I was facing years in prison.
Damn.
And so you didn't end up having to do that amount of time?
No, I ended up, the final sentence was 8 months.
Okay.
8 months in federal prison.
Oh, that's what you ended up doing?
I ended up doing 5.
Oh, 5. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
because through like,
Got out early?
yeah, like good behavior.
Type
Just
shit,
a
yeah.
bunch of all that stuff. So what happened is I had to ask myself, man, if I die tomorrow, what proof is there that I was here?
Right.
And I honestly I didn't ask that question with the intention of being speechless. I honestly wanted to see if I could come up with an answer, and I couldn't. I was a 28-year-old with nothing to show for in life, you know? So something told me to write a book because every man I aspire to be like has either written a book or has a book written about him. So I wrote my book because I said, you know what, if I die tomorrow, this is who I was. There's always something you can pick up, you can refer to.
Okay.
That says, oh, that's Nelson. That's who Nelson was. You know?
The pod is that for me.
The podcast has become that for me.
Type shit.
Yes. Initially, it started with my book. I started writing it in September of 2021. I published it in March of 2022. I did a book launch. It was pretty successful. Made a few $1,000s that day.
Nice.
And then I wanted to keep kind of like going down that path of searching for real meaning in life. And the podcast was just a natural evolution. I was a huge fan of Joe Rogan. Me and Joe Rogan have the same birthday, August 11th. And in June of 2022, I decided to launch the pod, much like you guys, audio only, just microphones, you know, in a dark corner of the room. And the rest is history, you know. I just hit 100 episodes not too long ago. So what I ended up doing was that year, I recorded as many episodes as I could. I actually ended up switching from just audio only to renting a studio. Then in October of 2022, I got sentenced, and I knew I was going to prison in January. So I decided to record a bunch of episodes between October and January and program them so they can be released while I was in prison. So the pod actually kept going while I was gone. And if you didn't know me, you didn't know I was in prison.
Damn.
So I get back and I have this crazy viral clip going crazy on YouTube. I have like
while you're in
no, as soon as I get back.
Oh, okay,
like as soon
okay.
as I get out in May of 2025 or 2023. I'm sorry.
Okay.
And that week I get back, I have a YouTube short that gets like 180,000 views.
Sheesh.
You know, so
Damn.
yeah. Then the rest is really history. I mean, I just here I am. You know.
So they end up taking away a whole lot of shit that you had at that time. A whole lot of material shit that you had.
Yeah.
And you talk about meaning. So you ended up searching for meaning. You went on a pod that you developed.
Right.
Right. So what'd you find? What does give you meaning now? Or at least what is meaning?
That's a great question. So I had to think about the question, who am I?
Yeah.
A lot. And it's not what you own.
No.
It's not where you live. It's not the people you hang around. It's not even your name. Who you are is a deep question that goes beyond, I would even think, this physical existence. Right?
For sure, yeah.
When you think about who you are, you are somebody even when you're sleeping, right? Like when you're not in this awake in this physical plane of ours, or this 3D reality, whatever the hell you want to call this. You're existing in another dimension technically. You're still there. So now we're talking about existential, like existing at the existential level. Like I exist past this reality. So what is that? Who is that? You know what I mean?
You think once everything was getting taken away from you and the sentencing started, you think you had like an existential crisis? Would you say more or less?
I wouldn't. At the time, I would have said it was a crisis, but now I understand that it was God's or the universe or whatever you prefer.
You believe in God?
I do.
You do?
Yeah, definitely do.
Okay.
The chances of all this happening by accident are 1 in trillions. Like, you have a better chance. By the way, I'm quoting Stephen Hawking, who's much smarter than all of us. Would we agree?
Yeah.
He said that all this happening by accident, like the universe happening by accident, you have a better chance of blindfolding yourself and picking a specific grain of sand on the beach than all this happening by accident.
Yeah, but
That's probably true.
I would say it's true. I mean, he's much smarter than I am. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You know.
He was an atheist, though. We got to be fair.
Was he?
He was, yeah.
But towards the end, he basically admitted that this was created.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, look it up.
Okay.
This was created. This was designed. What designed it? Who designed it? How it got designed? Hey, I'll let you guys argue that out.
Yeah.
But like, the only reason here's how I explain this to atheists, right? You don't have a book here, but usually I'll grab a book.
Yeah.
Right. Oh yeah, you do. Okay, this is a book.
Right.
How was this book created?
Are you gonna about to do the whole cost thing that everything comes from something?
No.
Okay.
Well, but check me out. So,
No, he's just trying to say it's not created. It's clear it's not created by chance.
Oh, okay, okay.
The paper didn't fall from the sky and the ink magically fell in the exact spots. Right. Somebody created this, right? So if somebody created this, why wouldn't you think that somebody created the planets and the stars and the universe and put the Earth in the exact same spot it needed to be for all of us to be alive? And
I don't think that's a good enough argument for that.
It's okay. So how you prove to me that this is all chance? Try to make that argument. This is all just some fucking, you know what I mean? Like some accident. Some chance thing, chance occurrence.
Go for it. This man is the super atheist right here.
Go for it.
Well, let me start by this. I mean, I don't think the atheist position is that all this came about by chance, because it's very difficult to say how this came about.
No one knows. Can we agree on that?
I would agree that no one knows.
We all agree with that.
Right.
Yeah,
how things
work. All right,
work.
So I respect that, because the reason most atheists, I can't even really have a conversation with them, is because humans are so arrogant that they want to act like they have the answers.
Right.
And humans don't.
Right.
It's the truth. They don't.
I agree with that.
That's my position on it. I don't know. Yeah. I'm like agnostic.
I'll accept that. I'll totally accept that.
Yeah.
But don't sit here and tell me that you know.
No, yeah, I would never.
Because none of us know.
No, yeah.
I mean, how? First of all, I mean, to know how the universe started is fucking
insane,
wild.
bro. Like, that's a wild thing to say. Like,
all right, so
I get the idea where the Stephen Hawking thing, where there's more chances that something it was created by.
It was designed.
It was designed.
It was designed to be in a certain way. If you have to believe that.
Now, design implies a designer.
Yeah, there has to be.
Right. So why is that position valid?
Because, again, I'm gonna go back to saying this, like, the chances of the planet and like living in the Goldilocks zone and us having oxygen, mind you, we're the only planet in the whole solar system that has life. You know what I mean?
That's true, yeah.
Okay.
So that wasn't on purpose? Like,
no, I don't think that's a good. Well, I mean, the way I would phrase it is like, look at the size of the universe, for example, right?
Right. I mean, you're giving more
and then
more an argument
and then you say, look at us, and there's life here, and we don't see life anywhere else. And I'm like, well, I mean, statistically, I mean, if it's that big, there had to be life somewhere.
No, and I'm not against. I'm all for.
So I mean, in terms of chance, that would be.
I believe that.
Yeah, using that same thing, we could be like, dude, the universe is so big, like what he said, right?
Right. But again, there has to be certain circumstances for life to be created.
True.
So, let's play devil's advocate. What's the purpose then? Like, if this was all just here and someone didn't design it and put it here, what's the opposite of that?
You don't think there? You don't think there could be like these things without a purpose? It just happened.
Nah.
I don't know.
Everything. Look at nature. Everything has a purpose in nature. Everything. Not one thing is for no reason.
I've heard this before. Yeah. That.
You understand?
You're talking about life?
I'm talking about the cycle of life. Like, let's look at nature. Let's use nature as an example.
It sounds like you're saying like everything is like, it feels like everything just fell into like position. Like, oh, the cows do this because of this.
Not
that
fell
happens.
into position. That's what I'm saying. Like,
saying it was put into position by
it was
designer.
put into position because everything in nature flows. Like,
it seems too coincidental that everything is just.
It can't be coincidental, brother. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
No, I don't think
it's a system.
Right. I don't think that the atheists. I mean, if they don't know anything, they might argue that, which is it happens. I mean, I think it's pretty common that people make ridiculous claims about things just happening by chance, which doesn't explain anything.
Exactly.
But I don't. I mean, for example, in terms of like evolution, like that's not chance. That's natural selection. Right, natural selection is not chance. It's whatever works continues to happen. Whatever doesn't work ends up happening less.
Right, but science itself keeps discovering new things.
Of course.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, and every time science discovers something new, it defeats the old argument.
If the old argument contradicts with the new, and
it happens often.
That's good though. I mean, if you were wrong, you want to be able to admit that you were wrong about something.
It is, but that's the issue I have with some atheists. Not all of them, but. They hold on to this scientific evidence, and then new scientific evidence comes out 10 or 15 years later.
We've debated that plenty of times on this shit, like the whole science, but.
And on top of that, let's not even involve humans. How we have an ego and all this stuff, because the dude who's wrong and is holding on to this. Oh no, because this is what's been in the textbook for 100 years.
Yeah.
And then a new scientist will come and be like, bro. don't even get me started on the wormhole with Egypt, and that's like a whole.
What do you think about Egypt?
We're dead ass wrong about Egypt, bro. We're dead ass wrong. There's basically proof now that there's water erosion, and that was like a tropical rainforest. I don't know.
I
how
mean,
long
like the
ago.
Sphinx, the erosion on the Sphinx.
Yes, correct.
Yeah,
Which
I've looked at that. That's actually interesting.
It's divided now. Like there's people who are trying to. There's evidence that that place looked different than it does right now. You know what I mean? And how often has a natural disaster occurred on this planet? It's happened every few, I don't know how many thousand years. So it's like, it can lead you down the rabbit hole that, okay, so maybe that place was a lot different than what we think it was. Maybe these pyramids were used for something different than what we think it's used for. And again, it's just about admitting you don't have the answers, brother. As soon as you admit that you don't have the answers, a world of possibility opens up. You feel me? So that's all I'm saying. Like, I'm willing to admit I don't have the answers. That's why I have an open mind and I'm open to anything. And then I see, oh, wait, okay, maybe Egypt was like this flush tropical rainforest I don't know how long ago. Maybe there's an argument there. Oh, okay, maybe Atlantis was a real place. You know, there's so many things that can come up just from having an open mind and admitting that you don't have the answers. I'm going to tell you guys a quick story.
Go for it.
I'm very into, you guys asked me about philosophy before we got started. I'm a huge fan of philosophy. Socrates is one of my favorite historical figures.
He's been a name.
Yeah. The Oracle of Delphi long ago said that Socrates was the wisest man in the world.
He did not believe that.
No, Socrates did not believe it. He refuted it. He made it a point to go around the world and talk to the smartest men he could find, philosophers, politicians, everybody he could find, scientists. And after months and months and months of like going out of his way to prove he wasn't the wisest man alive, he found out he was the wisest man alive. Because he was the only one that could admit that he knew, willing to admit that he knew nothing.
Right.
And everyone was
everybody was brainwashed.
That had an answer. Yes. No, I have the answers. And that's basically what I try to. No matter how much you learn in this lifetime, you're always gonna know less than what there is to learn.
100%.
Even Albert Einstein, right? He's probably the smartest guy that ever lived. He understood that no matter how much he learned and how much he discovered, whatever he learned to discover, it's always going to be like a fucking pimple on an elephant's ass compared to what all the amount of knowledge that there is to find and discover out there. So, yeah, man, it's just about staying open-minded, realizing that there's always room for improvement. There's always a new answer, something new to discover. That's why life is so exciting, right? Like, it's this endless adventure. And there's always new information that leads to all these new crazy things. So, yeah, man, that's my only thing, like, staying open-minded, you know? I'm
with that. I mean, I see things in two different perspectives, you know? Like, on the one hand, I have, like, the basic sort of empirical view of the world, which is, like, the way that people, like, live day to day is, you know, by, things have a cause and an effect.
Right.
The universe is structured a certain way.
Right.
If I'm sick, I can go to a doctor or whatever. If I need to, you know, take care of my health, I can eat less calories or take vitamins or whatever.
Right.
And then on the other hand, there's the shit that is less so practical but more so honest, which is to say I don't know, right? And the I don't know is what really, I mean, that's where I
don't know is where the possibilities open up, brother.
That's where the mysteries
and that's where
start
you find
to pop out.
That's where the real mystery of life arises. That's where the real meaning is. Who am I? I don't know. You know what I mean? And that's where life becomes different.
Right.
You know?
Right. You a fan of drugs or?
Me personally, I don't consume drugs. I don't consume drugs. However,
I'm consuming one at the moment.
I don't consume drugs. However, you know, psychedelics, that therapy they're doing with MDMA to get rid of PTSD.
Have you done?
Yeah.
Psychedelics?
Yeah, in the past.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give us some names.
The last time I did, I'll tell you the story about the last time I did mushrooms. I was in Las Vegas.
Oh, great.
Great place.
Great way to start.
To do mushrooms, yeah, for sure. So we're in the Paris Hotel, and my boy whips out this book, and I'm like, dude, a book? What are you gonna start reading? He's like, bro, somebody sent me this in FedEx, and I'm like, bro, somebody FedExed you a fucking book while we're in Las Vegas? you have a very exciting nightlife. I can definitely tell. So he whips out the book. He opens the book, and it was cut open, and there was a big ass bag of shrooms.
Some movie shit,
bro. So we're about to eat pizza, and he's like, "Yo, put this on your pizza, dude." I was like, "All right, whatever. We're in Vegas, you know."
First time?
Yeah, that was my first time doing shrooms.
Fucking wild.
How long ago was that?
9 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. So, dude, when I tell you, like,
how much was it? Was it a lot?
nah, it wasn't much. It didn't
Like
take
a little.
much.
Did you think you died at any point? Did it feel
No.
like you were dead? Like you
no ego death.
ceased to?
But I lost the concept of time completely.
Okay.
There was no concept of understanding like how fast or slow things were going.
Okay.
So the first thing was I actually earlier that week I had found out that Tupac was killed in Las Vegas. Right, I didn't know he died in Vegas.
That must have fucked with you, bro.
So what happened was So I wanted to go to the corner when he was killed because I thought maybe there was like a mural or something. Nothing.
damn.
Nothing. There's nothing.
There isn't?
No mural, no statue, nothing.
Damn.
It's crazy. So we get it. We hop in the Uber to go back to our hotel, and bro, I don't know what it was. Like, we went to the wrong street corner.
Damn.
So my boy just starts laughing in the Uber, bro. Laughing.
A little too much, right?
Way too much.
Yeah.
Mind you, we're in one of those Uber pools. So there's 2 other people in the Uber that we don't know.
Like
Plus
the
the
share
driver.
shit. Yeah.
So, and I got the front seat and he's in the back with the 2 girls. And he's just dying, bro, laughing. And he's the only one laughing. Everyone else is like, bro, what? Because if it was something funny, everybody would have laughed.
Yeah.
But he's just laughing.
He's just tripping.
He's laughing so much that he can't even verbalize why he's laughing. Which is
The street thing,
we went to
yeah.
the wrong street corner, you know, and we didn't even end up seeing where Tupac really died. Anyway. Which, by the way, later I went to the street corner and I confirmed there's no mural, there's no statue, no nothing. Anyway. Bro, so I'm sitting there listening to him laugh, and I'm just like, bro, I am tripping fucking balls right now, dude. Like the distance was like, I just sat there, and I think that car ride lasted an hour, and it literally lasted like 3 minutes.
Sheesh,
Yeah,
man.
the concept of time. We got out and we started walking, and I couldn't stop walking.
Right.
I literally was walking, and he's like, bro, slow down. I'm like, man, I can't. And I'm walking. I'm like speed walking super fast, and I feel like I'm out of breath. And somehow I managed to stop. I literally couldn't control myself. Like I couldn't stop walking.
Yeah.
So we end up at this at the Excalibur. And there's this big section with a bunch of couches like this where they have like a big screen and you're watching the horse races or whatever.
Okay.
So we sit down, and then some other shit. We start like laughing. And man, it's been a long night, bro. Look at the watch, and it's been like 4 minutes.
God damn.
Wow. Dude,
Yeah.
The only thing I taken like shrooms, but like in chocolates,
Interesting.
but I didn't take that much. I probably took like I don't know, like 3 little squares of it and shit. And
Yeah, psychedelics. I mean, I think they do something with the mind where they let you see certain things, and I'm not against them, you know.
I just felt like my stomach was like tingling the whole time, and I felt like I wanted to like stretch.
Yeah, I had a
It
weird.
was a weird way to describe it, but that's kind of how
I had a
felt.
weird like ticklish sensation in my head, like in my
Right.
like literally. I don't know what that was about.
Just wrote some bars on it, and
I felt like, you know how your arm falls asleep and then you have like that tingling, that
Yeah.
pinch. That's how I felt on my head.
any other drugs? Any other psychedelics?
I mean, when
Did you
I
take
was
acid?
no, not yet. I haven't gone down that rabbit
I
hole
haven't
yet.
taken any.
No
any
ayahuasca,
psychedelics.
no. But I will one day.
Oh, you're willing to?
Yeah. Let's see what happens.
You plan on going to Peru, going to the villages, and
probably
fucking with one of these?
Costa Rica or
That's one way to
you know,
do it, man.
The shaman. Yeah.
I mean, that might be the best way, right?
I mean, that's the legit way to do it,
They
right?
prepare the fuck out of you for that, bro.
Yeah,
I
for
think they
sure.
give you like a 1-2 week diet before they give you the ayahuasca.
and they're there with you. They make sure you're all right.
Oh, they got all tight. They got like the tobacco leaves that they rub you down with.
Yeah,
they got
yeah.
smoke coming through.
It's legit. It's
you
super
know?
legit. That's the way to
Next
go.
to a
if you're gonna do
fucking
it.
lake.
They're chanting in a fucking Mayan language
No,
or
and
some
then
shit.
they got in Costa Rica. They got these retreats where it's like an ayahuasca retreat.
Yeah.
You know, where you go to this beautiful resort and at night everybody gets together like in the backyard by the beach and does a bunch of ayahuasca. Yeah, man, and they're pretty therapeutic. I've seen people do some psychedelics and just beat different people.
Oh, definitely.
They're like change.
This man right here.
Yeah,
We've
for
talked
sure.
about it. This man took 3 stamps and was fucking another
wild.
person, bro.
Before I fucked up, this is a very...
This is high school days. Yeah.
This is right after I think we had graduated.
Okay.
A little bit after.
And this is a little post-graduation celebration here.
Man took it a little too far.
I
you
was
know?
watching a lot of Joe Rogan podcasts at
Oh,
the
my
time,
God.
and I was hyped up, and
That's
I was listening to Terrence McKenna and shit.
Said he did his research. He's like, oh yeah, he said 3 stamps was enough. I'm like, yo, I don't think.
There's no amount of research that would suffice for some shit like that, bro. You can't prepare for it, bro.
You can't. There's no way to prepare for that kind of
And
shit.
dude, that shit was. I was with this man the whole night, pretty much.
God damn.
It was like me, him, and like 3 of our friends type shit.
I think they
funny,
were
bro.
more scared than me after that shit, bro. Just to see the way I was acting, it was just...
Yeah, it felt like we were tripping and shit, bro.
It
That
was
shit
wild,
was
yeah.
another. That was a movie for real, bro.
It definitely
pretty
changed
wild.
you, though.
That's
At
pretty
least,
wild.
Yeah, this man.
At a certain dose...
It's a life-changing experience.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, that shit opened my mind up a lot too, because I used to be very like. I mean, I think you probably remember in high school and shit like that. I would just I would argue about the most petty shit, like somebody. And I was an atheist in high school too, right? So I mean, this is a situation. You talk to somebody and they tell you they believe in God. It's like, I don't believe in any of that shit, bro. I don't. And just have to come up and argue and turn everything into a fucking debate, and they could present you with 45 reasons why you're full of shit and you still hold on to that shit.
Yeah.
Right? That's that ego. I mean, I think that's probably why the trip was so bad, because I was so full of shit, And I'm still full of shit. I just don't know to what degree, That's something about being a human, is that nobody knows exactly how full of shit.
Becoming conscious of the fact that you're full of shit is already a step in the right direction.
Oh, it's great. It's great.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just even then.
The people who are so I took a course a long time ago that really helped me. It was called gratitude training. I wish it was still around, because I want to refer people to it all the time, and I can't because it doesn't exist anymore. Anyway,
Gratitude training.
Gratitude training. Yeah, it's one of the best self-development courses I've ever taken, and I've taken a lot of them.
Okay.
So basically, they taught me this concept called the survival context. Okay. What is the survival context? It is what your ego uses to survive and stay alive. What are some of the methods? The need to be right. The need to look good. The need to feel secure. The need, like these needs, these primal needs that we have. It's more about your ego trying to survive than it is about you actually, like what you want as a person. You have to separate those two things. So what used to happen to you was the survival context 100%. It was the need to be right. Even if you're right, it was about proving. Well, okay.
At least 98% of the time,
All right,
bro, I guarantee you.
And that's even, bro, that's a whole nother conversation. Because the devil's advocate is, even if you were right, if you really are right,
well, there would have been no need
cares?
for that.
Who cares? Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
And now, think about it this way. You have an ego if you're right and you want to prove you're right, right? Now,
If you have an ego and you're wrong.
And you're wrong.
Yeah.
How big, you know what I mean? So that's, the survival context, learning about that in that training really helped me.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel the need to be right anymore.
You're into a lot of like self-help.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite self-help guy, if you had to say?
Bro.
Robert Greene?
It's hot. That's actually my favorite author.
Give us some top dudes.
That's your favorite author?
That's my favorite author, yes.
I just
Robert Greene.
I mean I know him. I have like a book or two of his.
Yeah,
I have the 48 Laws.
48 Laws of Power.
And there's another one. I forgot.
33 Strategies of War. The Art of Seduction.
I think I have
Mastery.
The Art of Seduction. I think.
The Laws of Human Nature is my favorite. So it's such a good book. Yeah.
Okay.
I went down a rabbit hole with him, and he just shows you so many different historical. I'm a big history person, right? I believe that if you don't understand where we come from, you'll never understand where we're going. And if you don't understand where we come from, you're doomed to make the same mistakes.
Yeah.
Right. So he's so good at showing you history in a perspective to where, like, he shows you what works and what doesn't based on his history, like historical figures and famous people. So yeah, man, it's a good mix.
You don't think there's some hypocritical things in like his like what does he have? He has like there's a book I read of his that like each day there was a new what would be called a law, I guess, or some shit.
Oh, the daily laws. Yeah.
Do you think that maybe some of those laws are like
contradictory? Yeah.
Contradictory.
100%. 100%.
You don't think there's a flaw in that?
We're humans. We're flawed, and it is what it is. certain situations call for different circumstances.
But if he wants you to like learn these laws, then how if they contradict each other?
Because certain situations call for certain laws,
certain measures to be broken. Or,
yeah, of course, because you can't treat every situation the same. Life is very gray. You know, there's certain situations that are black and white, but there's certain situations that aren't. And if you treat every situation the same, that's immaturity. You know, that shows your flaw. That shows your weaknesses. You definitely shouldn't be treating every situation the same.
Yeah, I think he had I mean, what you're talking about.
Do you have any that you made?
I haven't read his shit.
I haven't read too much either, but
I haven't read him. I know Machiavelli like gets accused of like a similar situation, because what Machiavelli did, like in The Prince, for example, he ends up discussing historical scenarios to sort of justify the premise that he's making, right? If he's saying like, oh, you know, beware of flatterers or whatever, and then he'll give an example of somebody who's like kissing your ass, and then you turn around, you know, and there's a knife in your back or whatever.
Yeah, Robert Greene makes a lot of references to Niccolo Machiavelli. So he's if that's kind of like something you kind of mess with, then you'll like Robert Greene.
Yeah. I mean, and
you don't think there's a flaw in just citing or trying to reference a situation from back then, and then be like, okay, yeah, you should do it like this, like, and then
ultimately it's up for interpretation. It's not even up for what Robert Greene thinks. It's up for, hey, this is what happened, and you know, do what you want, but this is what happened, you know. So in reality, it's subjective. Even, you know, because some people might see, for example, one of the more positive books that he's done is Mastery, where he talks about he's talking about how someone became a master of their craft, and he talks about Leonardo da Vinci and like legendary people. Even that book could be taken out of context and being like, oh, but Leonardo da Vinci was this and that, and this other guy he talks about was this. It's all subjective.
I mean, yeah. If like that, then anything could be subjective, then, right?
But do you think morality is subjective?
No.
You think morality is objective?
Yeah, 100%.
Why do you think?
Because there's lines you don't cross as a human being.
Yeah, but what is it that makes it objective that for a person not to cross them?
What makes it objective?
Yeah.
Is consciousness. And like if you're conscious and you're a human being, we're all connected, brother. We're not separated. You, me, him, this table. It's all one. So the pain. When other people feel pain, when other creatures feel pain, I feel pain. So immorality is causing pain. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay. So then let me make it a little bit more specific than just a because the question can sound sort of vague. Sure. Way. So let's say somebody that
Can I get one of those?
Yeah. Let's tell. Let me tell.
Nah, it's cool.
I don't know. Let's say somebody does something that harms somebody else, you know, like let's say
you want to say something specific.
Let's say some kid just, you know, he goes up to another kid, just starts punching him in the face, you know, a bunch of times for
no reason, or did he do something
unprovoked? He's just a bully or whatever, right? I mean, now where do you get the proper punishment for that? Like, what's the right? How do you decide what the right response is to something?
That's a great question because a lot of punishments are immoral.
Right.
I'll give you a great example. What happened to me, right? Was it moral what the government did to me? Was it?
Well, if morality is objective, I mean, there has to be an objective answer, right? Either it is or it isn't.
So what is done to people because they break the certain laws? I mean, it's very immoral. You know, like if you let's take it something as simple as marijuana, where marijuana is legal in many places. There's still many people, and I know some of them, who get punished severely because of marijuana. It's totally immoral what the government does to those people.
Right. I mean, it's breaking the law though.
But the law has nothing to do with morality.
Oh, you just think like it's just fucked up, like just moral.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So legal and illegal is not moral and immoral. Those are four different things.
That's true.
That's totally different.
I would agree with that.
And the government is nobody. Legal and illegal is not moral and immoral.
Oh, okay, sure.
Those are totally different things. And politicians and government are nobody to tell us about morality. They're the first ones to break laws. They're the first immoral. Throughout the history of humankind, government is literally shown that they're the number one cause of like the pain of humanity.
But you're just arguing that people that go to jail for weed is like it's fucked up. Not people that
That's an
fucking
example.
not people that do crime and just do time.
No.
Okay.
There's, like I said, certain laws are immoral.
Okay.
Not all laws are immoral.
Right.
You know?
You just disagree with them.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. There's a lot of
What's another one though?
of laws that I disagree with.
Yeah, give me some.
I mean, drugs in general is kind of like
That they should be legalized or
drugs.
I agree that
For
they.
the most
Listen,
part-
I don't.
Yeah, we
I've
agree.
been
I'm
in
just playing
favor of
devil's
that.
advocate.
Drugs for the most part should be legal. If someone wants to take drugs, that's their fucking problem.
I don't think it should be
Like-
legal. It should be decriminalized. Like,
Okay.
as in, like, let's not arrest people if they're taking drugs.
I mean,
Like, let's just not.
tomato, I guess, yeah.
Because legalizing it and, like having it on a fucking, just a counter right there. Like, I don't know. That's like what's that dude's name? That scientist that he's, like, super...
You know what my argument
what
is?
you're talking
Until
about, yeah.
something's legalized, we can't even really determine the repercussions of it. You can't really study it. You can't look into it and really get answers. Since it's illegal, it's like, oh, it's this taboo thing and we don't even look at it.
Right.
No, bro, let's figure out what this really does to the body. Let's figure out how this really harms people. Let's figure out when it's laced with something it shouldn't be. And, like, let's figure
Right.
these things out.
There's a drug, a scientist. I don't. He's been on Joe Rogan. He's black, has
He's
dreads.
talking about the Carl.
He's like super.
Like pro-drugs?
Pro drugs, dude. He takes drugs.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
Hart.
Dude that shoots
Carl
heroin.
Hart.
Yeah.
The
Bingo.
dude that shoots heroin.
He
yeah.
shoots heroin. He does it like at a precise like amount, but he obviously he's getting the cleanest shit ever. So it's just interesting.
Lucky man.
Yeah, like
I'm saying you can't educate me on why I shouldn't do something if you just your position is for no one to do it and it shouldn't be allowed.
his whole thing is
like-
people are gonna do it anyway. So let me at least give you the precise info about it and why you shouldn't take this
I agree.
amount.
I agree.
If you're gonna take it,
I
at
agree.
least take this small amount on this certain drug. Like that's what his whole
I agree.
premise is. Since people are gonna always do it.
If you really want to do it, okay, let me educate you on why you shouldn't because I have the research and the numbers and the facts to back up my argument and
Right,
tell
right.
you, listen, this does this to your liver, this does this to your heart, this does this to your brain, this does. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's the same thing with steroids. Don't even get me started on stuff like stem cells. We could take this a whole nother like.
I don't know much about that.
Well, it's human regeneration is what it is basically.
I've heard about it.
And it's still illegal for the most part in the United States. If
People do it in Mexico.
Mexico, Panama,
I've heard of
Colombia.
this, yeah.
So it's like, again, going back to the original discussion, legal and illegal is not moral and immoral.
No, it's not. But you do contend that morality is objective,
I
meaning
believe
that there is like a right way to act in every circumstance and a wrong way to act.
there's a right and a wrong for sure.
I disagree with that.
All right, what's the counter argument?
I mean,
Well,
who's to say that? Who's the person that's gonna say that this is right, this is wrong?
So, because one person thinks that shooting your best friend in the head with a gun is and he's a psychopath. All right, that's cool. So because he's not immoral or draws the line somewhere else, does that make it not immoral?
No, my thing is a little bit different. So see, my thing is I'm not a what is it called? I don't think there's an equivalence between everything that people do. So I don't say that like if somebody shoots their friend in the head, versus somebody that wouldn't do that there isn't a difference. My thing is that I don't think it's objective in the sense that I don't think I can demonstrate that the same way that I could demonstrate, for example, that 2 + 2 = 4.
Right.
I
Yeah,
could
like it's
appeal-
not. There's no concrete. Like
I could appeal
No.
to something else, but
No,
I have to start.
there's no concrete place I can point to. But what I'm saying is it can't be subjective, as in like, oh, it's based on perspective, because there's moral and immoral. Like, and for the most part, most people can agree on what's moral and immoral. It's not like
I think people have agreements
on most things.
about things.
On
but
most things.
the majority
But-
important ones,
I mean,
the mostly important ones.
but
I
if-
think they have agreements, but I don't think the agreement makes it objective. I think that just makes it agreed.
Fair
most
enough.
people agree with it. Yeah.
Fair enough. But there's moral and immoral, is what I'm saying. There's not.
Yeah.
Even though it's not written in stone, I can't go to like some temple somewhere and like, yeah, here it
Right.
is. But moral is moral and immoral is immoral. Like, and humans for the most part know
Okay.
the answer to,
There's a good time for the trolley issue. You remember the trolley dilemma?
Oh, you're talking about the
Oh, we did this with Nair, and it was interesting
Go
to see
for it.
his.
the lever shit.
Yeah, let's just do it. I mean, I'm sure you've heard of it before, right? There's like 5 people on one side of what is it called? The train track. On the other
There's
side,
stars.
there's, I don't know, 10 people. They're each of equal value. Would you push the lever one side or the other?
If you don't push the lever,
Is there a right or
They all
wrong
die.
answer to that?
Right? No, there's no right answer.
There's no right answer.
You wouldn't say that?
Is there a wrong answer?
No, I mean, not making the choice is difficult, obviously, because if you don't make a choice, everybody dies.
Right.
I mean, no, more people would die. That would be the,
Yeah, but maybe the people you save are evil. You know, like there's so many
but
different
they're all-
things.
they're all equal of value. Let's hypothetically let's play that.
Then, I mean, obviously, the instinct is to go with saving the most amount of people possible, right? So, but that doesn't change the fact that someone's gonna die,
Right.
Or you could just not do anything.
and then let everybody die.
And then they all die.
Yeah, but you didn't.
So you're a coward.
I wouldn't say that.
I definitely would say that.
I'm not.
If you have the chance of saving more people, and you choose not to, and more people
Right.
die,
Sure,
Okay, so
but you just killed people now.
you killed people by not making a choice.
I wouldn't say that.
That's a little bit different.
That's yeah. That's,
You definitely killed people by
to
not
say
making a
that
choice.
the other option and the one we just said is the
So
same. Is
letting
not.
everybody die is just okay. All right,
It's
I didn't
definitely
kill
different. It's
Yeah.
definitely different.
There
to
was
do
an
something than
action.
to not do something.
Yeah.
Right, but more people died because of your indecision.
Oh, that's true. I mean, there's people.
Because of your choice not to get involved, more people died.
Look, there's war zones right now that we could volunteer and go over there and try to stop certain groups that are out
Yeah,
there
but that's
destroying
not a
people.
trolley. There were two groups of people. That's different.
But that's the difference between acting and not acting. Is the consequences that end up happening
True.
when you don't act.
Right, but this is in front of your face. This isn't in a distant war zone. We're talking
Sure,
about
whether
a,
it's your
situation.
face or not, you still make the decision
No,
that
no.
ends up having an impact versus not having an impact.
There's things that are in your immediate area, which is the example you're giving me, and then there's things in some distant continent across the planet that I'm never going to see. Those are two very different things.
But you still have a decision to make about whether or not you decide
To do it or you
something
don't
about
do it. Yeah.
Right, based on something I'm never going to see versus something that's happening in front of my face. We're talking about two very different things.
But you
Sure.
know that there's things happening like that in the world, and yet we're
course.
choosing right now not to do anything about it.
Of course,
Right.
right.
And you could do something about it.
Of course.
Now the difference is that one is like Netflix, where it's like right in front of you. You just push a lever and you do it, and the other one takes more effort. You have to like travel somewhere. You got to make plans. You got to do research and stuff. But at the end of the day, it's still the difference between acting and not acting.
It is,
And the outcomes that result
But again,
from that.
comparing something that's happening right in front of me to comparing something that I'm never gonna see probably for the rest of my life, it's a hard comparison, is what I'm saying.
No. I mean, the reason why I bring it up, I mean, I know they're different. That's why it's an example. I mean, if
Right.
I just repeated the same thing, it wouldn't be an example. It would just be me repeating myself.
Right.
The point is to demonstrate that there's a distinct difference between doing something and not doing something,
Right.
and whether or not that's bad or good. Right.
Correct. In that example, there's no right or wrong choice because something bad is gonna happen no matter what you choose to do, even if you choose
Okay.
to do nothing and not get involved.
Is being a coward bad?
That's a great question. Is it?
I don't know. I'm not an objectivist.
I don't think so. I don't think being a coward is a good thing.
I still
Okay.
think though.
But so you think it is bad?
I think-
I think being a coward is a
bad
poor,
thing.
is a poor choice. I think
Pulling
it's
the
a poor
lever
choice.
is worse though. Saving the people is worse because you made an action and you're kind of killing those people with that
Yes.
action.
I guess okay.
As in the other action is you not doing anything and you're just going on with your day.
I guess, and then more people die.
I think
because of
I could
your
live.
indecision.
I could live more with.
With more people dying.
No, I could live more like be able to sleep at night by not doing anything than pulling the lever and being like, damn, yo, I pulled that lever. Those 4 people or those 2 people like were in my hands
Damn,
right
yo,
there.
I did nothing and all of them died.
Man, fuck it.
Let me just. No, I'm not defending either action. But
That's just
No, I know.
That's my. That's always been my proposition
Yeah, I
about
get
it.
it,
Like
I
I
get it.
always.
I don't really have a. I mean, my solution is generally yes. If you can have 5 people die versus 10 people dying, that's obviously less suffering if they're all equal and they're all capable of feeling pain the same
Right.
way. I mean, that's
Exactly,
obvious,
Exactly.
right? The reason why I ask it is because it gives you a general like outline of how somebody would respond to a moral dilemma. It's not like a moral
Right.
thing that it's crystal clear to most
Right,
people.
right,
Like,
exactly.
oh, you shouldn't kill people. It's like, all right, because that one's very easy for people to answer. But when somebody's placed, how do you say it in hockey? Te ponen en hockey.
Check.
They got you in
Oh
check,
yeah.
right? And you got to respond.
Not even, bro. Just I don't even think a lot of people would do anything. That's also my
I think
argument.
that's also
most people,
true.
because most people are cowards.
Not that though, but bro, that's not easy, bro. That's not easy.
Nothing is easy in life, bro.
There's levels.
Bro, people are cowards. That's just what it is. Most people don't have the balls to make decisions. Period.
Sure, I agree.
So, it is what it is.
But there's levels to.
Fear is a predominant motivating factor in humans.
That's true. Yeah.
So they let fear dictate their own lives, and usually that's a poor way to live. So, it's like literally caveman fight or flight kind of shit. You're literally operating from.
I wouldn't call that person a coward though. I would call that person just not making that action to you're killing people, dude. By pulling that lever.
Yeah, but you made a decision not to take action because somehow or some way, me not being involved is like, oh yeah, I get to wipe my hands. Nothing happened because
was that your job that day? Are you mandatory that you have to make that action?
No, you're not obligated to do anything. But if again, I go back to. That discussion or that talking point is basically saying because I didn't involve myself, my conscience is clean in spite of more people dying.
That's a way to look at it.
I don't really, but I disagree. I mean,
okay.
I know it's going to be a hard choice to get involved, but
you do think that person has a responsibility.
But it's not even about the hard choice being involved. I don't care about I'm more about doing that action. It's you're actively killing somebody versus you not doing anything. You're letting life be. Like it was gonna happen anyway. Why would I interfere in that? What is that gonna?
I just want to give a quick rebuttal to my own argument that I had placed earlier. So earlier I had made the comparison of like traveling somewhere across the world to do some shit.
Right.
I think one of the main reasons why people don't do shit like that sometimes, it's not the only reason by far, but one of the main reasons is that there's sort of a free rider effect going on, right? Like that's it. Somebody else should do that. There's billions of people in the world, right? This example, you're the only person there in front of that train. You're the only person that's there to make the decision.
Correct.
Now, if there were 400 people there next to it, everybody would be looking at each other like, well, somebody should do something.
Who's going to do it?
Exactly.
And that's the bystander effect.
Yeah.
And then you end up with a whole bunch of...
And then to go down the rabbit hole of the wars, most wars are meaningless and fought over decided.
That's generally the case. Yeah.
I mean, of course, yeah.
That's a whole.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure.
Yeah.
We don't even gotta argue.
I mean, there's wars and then there's just straight up massacres and shit.
People just dying, bro. That's all it is.
Like there's concentration camps and shit. Like the Soviet Union, a bunch of people in concentration camps and shit like that. Like that's not a war. That's just. I mean, that's just one-sided abuse at that point.
Yeah,
right?
pretty much.
Which is pretty much. I mean, that's a lot of the history of humanity. People fucking each other that way. It's a crazy thing when you really stop and think about it.
You would think that we'd be over war by now. After I don't know how many years of thousands and thousands of years of living amongst each other, but it seems to be.
We have such great bombs nowadays, though, that people. I mean, the politicians just love having a hand on those things and just waving it around. I mean, I heard Biden had a new. I think it was a secretary that has to do with armaments or something like that. I think I sent you the link for that over on Twitter, and she said that. We need to queer the what is it called, the nuclear program, because what is it called, discrimination is a national security.
DEI should
You know what the new epidemic is called?
What is it?
Stupidity.
Oh, that's
the epidemic, not COVID.
I hear it's incurable.
It's fucking terminal is what it is.
We're always gonna have stupid people.
No, but the more. The easier life gets,
the dumber people are.
The more the dumber, like the easier life gets to just be about and survive, the more the weaker people can be allowed to survive and like stick around.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
So the more we progress with technology, the easier things get. The lower the bar goes.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah.
There's also no test for weakness when that happens too, because when people are that comfortable, it's not like you live in, like back then you had to be, I mean, the Spartans, every single one of them that was actually like a Spartan was a fucking soldier.
Speaking of gay, they were gay back in the day.
Oh,
we talked about that, yeah.
That's a whole other...
Very in-depth, and it was...
Fucking young, extremely pedophile shit, right?
Extremely, very pedophilic.
Yeah, Greek.
That was like their way of
the Greeks is weird. Yeah. Anyway, but they were battle tested. You know what I mean? They went through things.
Yeah, and so nowadays, since it's expected that, you know, if you're in a situation of relative peace, there's no war going on, and everybody has,
Right.
for example, an equal standard under the law, and you live in a nice, cozy environment, and everybody that you know lives in that nice, cozy environment, I mean, you really don't know who would be a bad motherfucker and who would just be somebody that's hiding behind the bad motherfucker when shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
And since you don't know, there's a lot of missing information when we deal with people.
I agree.
There's not testing going on, is there?
No, the only way is to be tested. Like, you have to be put in a situation. And that's when you find out what you're made of, you know?
I was gonna ask, since we were talking about like self-help books and shit, are you a fan of the law of attraction? Do you think it's true? Do you
I
believe
subscribe
in it?
to it. I just don't subscribe to a certain demographic of people within that niche. When The Secret came out, I'm sure you guys have heard of that, the book, The Secret. No.
Yeah, no, I'm not a really big fan of
best.
It has some.
it. You like it?
No, and for one reason, in that entire book and in that entire movie, the word work is never mentioned, not once.
The what?
Work.
Oh, work.
Right, it's manifesting. It's sort of a way of skipping the work, if you will.
Yeah, manifesting is real, but there's an added element of effort that you have to put in order for you to manifest things. So, the law of attraction is very real. You are what you think about, 100%. A man is what he thinks about all day long. I forgot where I got that quote from, but there is an added element of action.
Yeah.
Like, you don't really believe it unless you do something. Like, you can say you
Right,
believe in
of
something
course.
when you take action. Until then, it's all talk. It's worth nothing.
I can agree with that, yeah.
Yeah, we agree with
100%.
that for the most part.
Yeah.
No, I just wanted to ask. A lot of people do believe in that shit.
Yeah.
Like on some other.
No. I believe it 100%. The law
But
of
they get on their
attraction.
mystical shit and start like. It's very vague though. The book is just like. She just starts like, oh, just start thinking about money, and then
Yeah.
like it's like, come on, bro.
That
Like,
was a cash grab. What I can tell you is that there's many other books I've read. Like, there's a really good book called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. Fantastic book. If you want to really go down that rabbit hole, I mean, you know, Think and Grow Rich is a classic. You know what I mean? That's much better than The Secret and all that horse shit. Because Napoleon Hill goes down really explaining the process of bringing something to life.
What book are you? The Think and Be Rich?
No, Think and Grow Rich.
Think and Grow Rich? Okay,
Yeah, by Napoleon Hill.
Yeah.
So he's a little more concrete because he talks about the whole process. It starts off as a desire. He talks about what kind of desire has to be, how bad you have to want something. Then he talks about actually putting into action. Then he talks, you know, he goes through the whole process of really bringing something to life.
Right.
So, yeah, just thinking about stuff all day and like sitting and meditating and like, yeah, it's gonna come to me.
this guy's a meditator.
Okay. Well, no, I meditate too.
For a few minutes a day.
Good. I meditate for 10 to 20 minutes a day.
I'm trying to work on that, man.
I know it's hard in the beginning, but
It's a great habit, though, man.
It is. They say every man should sit in silence for at least 15 minutes a day.
yeah.
Damn.
It does wonder for you. I remember when I got indicted, I started working at Cadillac, and I started selling cars. And every morning, like this one morning, I just forgot to turn on the radio, and it was quiet, and it was about a 35 to 45 minute drive to work. Bro, it was the best. After that one day, I was like, man, that was nice. Like, quiet in the morning. I do that every morning now. I have like 30 minutes of silence when I wake up.
Yeah, it feels good.
Yeah, you get your thoughts together, you know.
It does, yeah.
Organize.
Yeah.
Definitely, bro.
I was gonna say, dude, I don't know if you've heard of this like narrative that's been going on about the whole thing about Jews running the country and just Jews running everything. What are your thoughts on that? Are you one of these guys who thinks that? No hate if you do. I'm just curious.
No, but there's no thinking. Like, you want to point at. Again, I'm not saying that they control the world, but
Right.
you know, Steven Spielberg is the biggest producer in history. He's a Jew. You know what I mean? The Rothschilds own the banking system. They're Jews. It's a known fact that Jews are the most successful people on the planet. Let's not.
They got a lot of Nobel Prizes, those motherfuckers. Yeah, they do.
But they make it seem like is this planned or it just so happened?
No, I don't know about plan, but I can tell you right now that they're the most powerful and wealthy and successful people that have ever existed. So, you know, I don't know about anything past that, but
Right.
You're not saying it's caused by like a plan that they have. You're saying this is a fact. There's a lot of successful people.
you know,
Yeah.
I don't have any proof of any of that shit. But
Okay.
I can tell you that All right.
You have seen this like narrative though, right? Like it's
who hasn't, bro? Come on, of
it's
course.
growing now. Like that's why I say like there's people like Nick Fuentes. I don't know if you've heard of him.
So
like,
check this out. Let's point out a real life example. Kanye West, right? Everybody kind of like that whole situation.
Right.
He really just pointed out, like, yeah, now he's going down the rabbit hole and all that shit, but
oh, he's fried.
Originally, when he started talking, he literally was just saying Jewish people were the most successful people. They control certain things. These people control this. That person controls that.
Yeah, but he was saying it with a little spice on it.
Of course, because he's Kanye.
Yeah,
I get it.
He wasn't saying it as if it was.
If we're just listening to what he's saying, like if people said that about Cubans, I'd be doing backflips. I'd thank that guy. I'd be like, yo, holy shit, thank you, bro. Yeah, we're successful. We got money. Yeah. I didn't really understand, like...
I feel like you putting it like as a, like... I feel like when they say this narrative, though, there's, like, some, like, a negative, sentiment to it, you know what I mean? It's not like he's just stating a fact, like, they make it...
Do you not believe that there's like, powerful people who control the world?
Of course. But no, that's what I'm saying. I'm there, like, when they say it, there's, like, a negative... like sentiment to it, like if it's bad that Jews are running this whole thing, that's what I'm saying. If not, nobody would be caring. There's like no
one should be running this whole thing. You know what I mean? Like humans shouldn't be controlled. Like the fact that it's a common...
be controlled. They love that shit.
That's the problem. Though. And again, the people who want, and then let's take it a step further. What kind of people want power and control? Typically, not
usually
good people.
Psychopaths.
Exactly.
Bro.
So, the fact that it's known that a group of people... Thanks, bro. The fact that it's known that a group of people control the world, and not even known, but it's basically believed amongst the majority of the population, and when even if it's talked out of context and it's said inappropriately, I get it. But if the conversation is being had, then let the conversation be had, is what I'm saying. Like,
no, yeah, I'm not against that, of course. But it was weird that when Kanye did all say that, they dropped him. I get it, but it's like... You can't just be saying...
Listen, if your boss is Jewish and you're out
what do you expect, bro?
There's no hope for this.
I guess.
Like, you're just fucking yourself over.
No,
like,
I mean, listen...
But I get it. There is there is, like, this pattern that I've seen... And listen, it could be right. I'm not saying it's wrong or right.
I don't think... I mean, look, if in terms of, like, who has the highest amount of power, I mean, I don't think it's an ethnic... thing.
Yeah,
who has the highest amount of power. I mean, you look at like the...
It so happens that a lot of Jews do run some things.
I mean, look at the richest
but there's others
people in the world.
Jewish people don't run everything, bro. Is that
just most things?
I wouldn't say most things.
Yeah, man. Like we need some papers. We need some statistics on this because they always be saying this like, yo, Jews run this, but like, who is exactly these Jews? Name me everybody that runs everything.
Listen, bro, they don't invite me to the fucking Bilderberg meetings. Right? I'm pissed off about that. I've never been invited once to the Trilateral Commission.
I've never been to the World Economic Forum, so
I've never been. No.
Listen, we're big fans of them, bro.
I applied to be a member of the Council on Foreign Relations. Nothing. No email. No nothing. I spent like 5 hours writing that shit.
That's wild.
And
wild.
But yeah, dog, that is some shit. That shit's all over my Twitter always, bro. Like, it's just like, Jesus Christ, bro. You can't get away from it, bro.
Twitter's a tough one.
I do think, though, this is a hypothesis I have. I do think Jeffrey Epstein worked for the fucking Mossad. I do think that he worked for the.
A lot of people do.
I mean, I think it's so clear at this point. And just
a lot of people do.
Look, if you're getting a lot of politicians and you're talking them into having sex with a bunch of kids, and I mean,
so we've agreed. So the three of us have agreed that we think that there's a group of people that control the world, right?
Oh, there's groups. I
don't give a shit what you call it. You could call it the cabal. You could call it Illuminati. Whatever. Now, the fact that guy had the list of people that he had that went to that island. And the fact that no one's really looked into anything, and the fact that this other chick got arrested and got 30 years in prison, and the fact.
She's probably playing tennis right now, bro.
For sure.
I mean, in her case, it was pretty obvious what happened to me. They approached her, told her, "Listen, you either shut the fuck up or you end up like Jeffrey, and you're just gonna spend the rest of your life in prison. It is what it is, you know."
I mean, you know who her sister was, bro? That bitch ended up like basically helping Google? To develop like search engines for the fucking I mean, they're all tied to intelligence agencies. I mean, it's wild.
Yeah. There you go.
So I guess
now you understand why I don't believe in coincidence.
I mean, that's people say Israel really run U.S. politics and they control
They do have a large influence on U.S. politics.
I heard Dan Bilzerian made a really good argument for this, and it was
On
hard
PBD?
bro.
He was
He
in
went
his
pretty ham.
anti-Semitic bag. I won't lie.
No.
He was going.
No, he
ham.
wasn't, bro. No, he wasn't, because he was right. And let's take it a step further. Like, you know who's someone who kind of like I agree with for the most part, and then when it comes to any topics about Jews, he just flips the fuck out?
Who?
Is Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro, for the most part, he has me, because he's a logical guy.
It's just...
He is Jewish, my guy.
I get it, but why is it different when it comes to Israel? Like,
I mean, it's
they're not capable of doing right and wrong?
It's a special. It's home for him.
definitely
I get it,
are.
but they're human beings and they do right and wrong.
The thing with Ben Shapiro, though, is that he has a religious attachment to it as well.
Yeah.
I
So
get it.
he thinks that shit is holy, so there's no rational
that
argument
beats
you can tell a
facts.
guy
Yeah,
like
that beats facts.
But you're
though.
telling me, but again, the fact that you're going to sit there and tell me that you can't admit that they might be doing something wrong in this situation.
Israel? They've done a lot of shit wrong. I mean, what government hasn't?
You're on your Free Palestine. That's your.
I'm on the side of the truth, brother.
Right.
There's wrong on both sides there.
I agree.
There's wrong on both sides.
I agree. This whole thing is
Hamas should be exterminated,
100%.
and killing children is fucking wrong.
100%.
So
That's
We agree.
you know,
I agree. with
100%.
both statements.
I think
Yeah.
both. I think this shit's dumb, and they should end it right now, and that's it, bro. That's
yeah,
I
innocent
wish.
people should never die for no reason. Like,
Exactly,
you know,
I agree, bro.
So Israel has things they're right about in that situation, and they're doing things the wrong way. Palestine has things that they're right in that situation, and
Bro,
they're,
it's
they're
war.
wrong.
It's
It
is
is
what it is.
war.
it's war, bro.
And instead of the crazy thing is, all the Palestine protesters are white women with too much fucking time in their hands, and all the pro-Israel people are a bunch of Republicans who really don't even know what the fuck they're talking about.
I mean, Dan Bilzerian though was going on some. He was just going on his anti-Semitic shit. Not to cut you off,
No, but he is a political expert, right? Isn't he?
Yeah, he's a poker player.
There's political experts out there, right? There's people
No,
that
but
know, and they tell
He
you the
did.
truth.
He did it like.
But that's one of the things I don't like about the society nowadays. It's like, oh, like, you don't know about that, so I don't really think you should talk about that. I mean,
No, I don't. No, we're not saying
that's
that.
an
no,
argument
I'm
from
not saying you
authority.
guys. I'm not saying you guys.
Okay,
I'm not saying you guys. I'm saying in general. Like, for
Sure.
example, Bill Gates is a guy who does all kinds of shit for vaccines.
Trust me, we've talked
and
about him.
farming.
He's a medical doctor now,
Yo,
right? He's
so
Yeah.
you know what he had the nerve to tell Elon Musk when Elon Musk was like, "Yo, what do you know about this?" He's like, "Oh, go back to building cars." It's like, motherfucker, go back to building computers.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, he's been on that health shit for a while already,
Bro,
though.
I mean, it has. So he owns so much of it. Like,
Bro,
I
he's the
remember-
guy that did the whole he was modifying mosquitoes and shit, and he did, brush.
I remember, like, even myself, like, taking a fucking course on neuropsychology, and I ended up looking at my professor, like, because he had a clinic down here. He had moved from buttfuck Egypt, some other state over there.
that's
He
crazy.
moves down here, and I look on his website, and I look at the grants he's getting, and, like, it's all just Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
Yeah, 100%.
And I'm thinking, like,
pretty
these
wild.
guys are in fucking everything.
They're
Like, the amount of money
they have their hands
there.
everywhere. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's not even. And you think, I mean, a guy like that, he doesn't have a need for. I mean, he's settled financially. I mean, he could just throw
Yeah,
that
he's
shit
more
in
than
the
set, bro.
He could throw that shit in the S&P 500 and go to sleep.
Yeah, he's straight.
Right.
Warren
But
Buffett just took out a bunch of money.
That should tell
He
you.
just took
something.
out like fucking, I think like
shit's about to go
billions,
to hell.
bro. He took out.
Shit's about to go to hell in a handbasket.
was it like Apple or
No,
was it
he-
He dumped all his Apple stock.
A bunch of stocks, bro. He took out,
He
bro.
dumped everything.
Like a couple weeks ago, he did that.
Every time he's gotten liquid, look historically what's happened. Every time.
Oh yeah, he knows something's about to happen for
So,
sure.
just get ready, fellas. 'Cause shit's
Bruh.
about to get ugly.
I'm gonna stand up and take a piss because I'm not gonna piss.
We'll be back, gentlemen. All
Mr.
right,
Montana,
Appreciate the invite, guys.
it's been
listen.
an honor.
This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, dude, we definitely gotta talk for more.
I went in certain directions I haven't really gone in, so that was fun.
Oh, so do we.
Oh, we always do that, bro.
I mean, that's
Fire, man.
So yeah, man, we'll talk soon.
Definitely.
All right.
Yeah, hopefully I'll have you guys on the pod soon.
100%, bro.
all right.
Let's do it.
All right, man.
Push
All
it
right,
to
guys.
the limit. The world is yours. If you're not chasing a dream, life is meaningless.
Peace.
Say goodnight to a
Peace.
bad guy.